Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either January 3rd or 4th, 2023. And I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? Happy first new comic book day of 2023 to all of you. Let's hope 2023 is a great year for comics. If this first week's worth of books is any indicator, it's hard to tell. This week is not a fantastic week. There's nothing that I'm like super excited about. There was no clear just one book pick, but there was a book that didn't get onto my radar until I started doing research for this video. And once it was on my radar, I was like, this sounds really fun and entertaining. Not only am I going to go ahead and pick it up this week, I'm going to make it my just one book pick. So we'll find out more about what that book is later in this video. But let's go ahead right now and take a look back 2 weeks ago from my pick from that video, which was Something is Killing the Children, issue number 27. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile pick to be my just one book pick of the week? And the answer is yes. Yes. First and foremost, as most of you already know, I am a gigantic Something is Killing the Children fan. So it would take a lot for this issue to not be a worthy and worthwhile just one book pick. But even if it wasn't my favorite book, it was just a really good issue of a comic book. It started off giving me some backstory about one of the characters that we're getting to know and offered context as to why they're doing the things that they're doing, which is helpful and was entertaining to me. And it ended with a bit of a shocker, a bit of an oh wow moment, like, oh, this is really cool. Where are we going to go from here? And I'm really excited to see how the future plays out, knowing what's developed at the very end of the issue. I am being intentionally vague on specifics because this is, as always, a spoiler-free video. So I hope you're checking it out. If you did check out issue number 27 of Something is Killing the Children, let me know what your thoughts for it was down in the comments. My preference would be that you keep it spoiler-free, but if there's something you want to talk about specifically, I think that it's been close enough that we could maybe get away with it in the comments. You decide for yourself. All right, let's go ahead and push forward now by taking a look at the books that are coming out this week. Now, first, I'm going to mention 4 books to you that I am picking up this week that are not honorable mentions, but they are pulls of mine. The first one I want to mention to you is A Calculated Man, issue number 4. This is the final book in this series, apparently. It's a little bit odd because issues number 1, 2, and 3 came out in June, July, and August, respectively. But issue number 4 didn't come out until like 5 months later, so it's a little bit odd that it took this long for the final issue to come out, but maybe that means it's just going to be that much more awesome. I don't know. But I have been enjoying issues number 1, 2, and 3. I'm absolutely going to pick up issue number 4 to finish out the series. I'm also picking up Star Wars issue number 30. I would have never imagined that I would be picking up all 30 issues of this and counting of this Star Wars series, but it's been really great. It's a great era of Star Wars between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, written by Charles Soule, who's a great writer and doing a great job with this property. Really enjoy it, so I'm absolutely picking it up this week. And then I'm also picking up Stillwater, issue number 17. This is the penultimate or second to last issue of Stillwater. Issue number 18 will be the final issue of Stillwater. I am disappointed about that because it is a story that I've really been enjoying, once again, more than I would have expected. And it's a story that really kind of, one of many stories that cemented for me just how awesome Chip Zdarsky is. And I really do think that Chip Zdarsky is awesome. Highly recommend him and all the work that he does, which brings me to my final pull for this week, which is Batman, issue number 131. also written by Chip Zdarsky. His time on Batman so far has been fantastic. The whole story with Failsafe was awesome and gave me some amazing Batman moments. I mean, if you like superheroes, you got to be reading this current run of Batman. With Batman being as cool of a superhero as he is, and with Chip Zdarsky being as good of a writer as he is, I highly recommend picking up this current run of Batman. But those are all the books that I am pulling this week. I have a few other kind of things that I want to mention this week. There are some Marvel books that I'm not particularly interested in, but I wanted to put them on your radar just in case you might be. There's a Joe Fixit issue number 1 book coming out. This is an alter ego of the Hulks. While I see the fun and the cool there, it's not really for me, but it might be for you, so I mention it. There's also a Scarlet Witch issue number 1 coming out. Scarlet Witch is awesome and super powerful. So I can see a lot of appeal for a Scarlet Witch solo book. And if that appeals to you, then I wanted to let you know that this is coming out this week. I'm not going to pick it up personally, but I'm going to keep an ear out and see if anybody's talking about it, see if anybody gets excited about it. And she obviously lends herself to fantastic covers. In addition, there is Shang-Chi, Master of the Ten Rings, issue number 1 coming out this week. In this story, he goes back in time somehow, and he comes across his dad who ends up turning bad, but is he going to be able to figure make that not happen and stuff like that? At least that's what he's going to try to do. It could be entertaining if you're a Shang-Chi fan. I wanted you to know about this. In addition, there is a new publisher, at least new to me, somebody who I hadn't heard of, that has 3 books coming out this week. The publisher is Opus Comics. They have 3 books coming out this week. Each book costs $6.66, which I think is kind of fun and entertaining. They're not really interesting to me, but I thought I'd mention them to you just in case they might be interesting to you. On the first 2, I would say you're going to have to do your own research. The first one is a new book called Deathgasm. Looks pretty metal right there. The next one is called Hammerfall. Also looking pretty metal, but less literal. Maybe more literal, actually, now that I look at it. If that image looks cool to you, might be something you consider picking up this week. But the one I want to feature is a new book called The Phantom Tomorrow. It's issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Opus Comics. Here's the description real fast. Scientist Dennis Kane has an intellect matched only by his massive ego. When his hubris causes the world to fall apart around him, a dark avenger is born of his agonizing shame. A mysterious figure caught between life and death, the Blackbird, desperately seeks redemption, willing to fight through hell and back to get it. Okay, that could be interesting to you. If these titles seem interesting to you, if the $6.66 price tag seems interesting to you for each one of these books, and if you go to the comic book store and you pick them up off the shelf and you flip through them and it looks like there's $6.66 worth of content in there, I just wanted to have it on your radar. Maybe something, this is a deep cut, probably not going to be a high print run, maybe something worth checking out. But I think if I was going to steer you towards new things to check out, I would more point you toward the books that I am about to mention. So here are my honorable mentions. My first one is a new book. It is called Mosley, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Boom Studios. Here's the description. From Farmhand creator Rob Guillory and Sam Lofty, Mosley is a satirical sci-fi blockbuster perfect for fans of God Country and Ghost Cage. In the hyper-technological world of the latter 21st century, Mosley is a bitter old janitor on a mission from a higher power to unleash holy hell upon the too-big-to-fail tech gods. Can one man bring down the corporate powers who've used their vast influence to oppress an all-too-complacent human race and hopefully win back the favor of his estranged family while he's at it? Mosley's taking up the holy hammer and you better believe he's gonna smash some beep until he sets mankind free. Each issue has wall-to-wall content and will feature a bonus story by series writer Rob Guillory, starting with issue number 2. I have a hard time pronouncing that person's last name. Mosley. Does that description sound interesting to you? Great. Wonderful. I would recommend picking it up if it does. Doesn't really sound very interesting to me, though. I only mentioned this book in my honorable mentions this week because maybe it would sound interesting to somebody else. And it's a new book from Boom Studios. Doesn't really sound particularly interesting to me. The next 3 books that I'm going to mention in this video, however, do. So I would steer you toward them if they interest you. The first one of the last 3 that I'm going to mention to you today is a new book. It is called Children of the Black Sun, issue number 1 from Ablaze Publishing. Here's the quite long description. Stick with me, I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. From the artist of the hit series, The House of Slaughter. This is not the reason why I'm picking up this book just because it has something as Kill the Children connection. Okay, here we go. Quote, "It is not difficult to be happy under a blue sky, but it takes a lot of courage to be strong even under a black sun." End quote. Over the years, a black sun has risen twice. A dark dawn whose rays have done terrible things to people's minds, driving them to all sorts of horror. 12 years have passed since the last time, and the world still fears the return of that inexplicable phenomenon. But fear is not the only legacy of those terrible days. All the women who got pregnant under the influence of the black sun have given birth to babies with some peculiarities. White hair, ashy skin, abnormal proportions, and eyes as red as fire. The children of the black sun. Brightvale is a small town like many others. Here, the children of the black sun are treated with particular contempt, especially in the days leading up to the anniversary of the 2 disasters. The hatred of their fellow villagers, terrified of a possible return of that horror, will push these kids to unite and embark on a hallucinatory journey to discover themselves and their true nature. But is the black sun really about to return? There's a lot going on in this description and a lot going on in this book, which could be really awesome if done well, or really not awesome if not done well. It's compelling enough and interesting enough to me that I am slightly inclined to pick it up this week, but I'm not going to because, as I mentioned before, I try to say no to as much as possible. So I'm just going to barely say no to this book this week, but I am going to pay attention to what's going on with it, just in case the word on the street ends up being that it's quite entertaining. So I wanted to make sure to mention it to all of you. My last honorable mention this week is a new book. It is called Trojan, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Artists, Writers, and Artisans, AWA. Here's the description. Once upon a time, we lived alongside legends, creatures of myth, centaurs, fauns, gorgons, kelpies, gnomes, and more. They were spectacular, majestic, powerful, peaceful, pure. In comparison, we were ugly, weak, warmongering, rotten. Is it any wonder we could not live alongside them any longer? After driving these legends to the fringes of society, an uglier form of mythos takes shape in the form of rumors of live snuff shows for dark web high rollers. When a mysterious young woman, Nessa, enlists the help of a hacker to take a tour of the grisliest corners of the dark web, she sets in motion a war between those who peddle in mankind's darkest fantasies and a world that transcends imagination. Trojan is fantasy thriller full of wonder and horror in equal measure. Okay, so I don't plan on buying this book this week. However, this is the one of all my honorable mentions that I have the hardest time saying no to. I kind of sort of want to check this book out. It's got like a futuristic vibe, but it's also got a fantasy vibe, and it's got a sci-fi element, and it's got a horror element. Seems like it's got a lot going on, which, similar to the last book, could be its greatest strength or its greatest weakness, but this one seems like it could be pretty cool. So while I'm interested in Children of the Black Sun, I'm more interested in Trojan, but not quite interested enough to buy it. But both of those last two books, Children of the Black Sun and Trojan, are books that I am going to keep on my radar. And if people start talking about it and they say it's pretty good, I'm going to jump on it right away to check it out for myself. And for that reason, I wanted to make sure that it was on your radar as well. Okay, those are all of my honorable mentions. That brings us to the one book that I would buy this week if I could buy just one book. And that book is Spy Superb, issue number 1 of a 3-issue limited series from Dark Horse Comics. Here's the description. From New York Times best-selling and Harvey Award-winning graphic novelist Matt Kindt comes the latest Flux House humorous espionage adventure. It's John Wick meets Wes Anderson in this mystery thriller about a secret organization that's developed the perfect spy. Who is the perfect spy? Spy who doesn't even realize they are a spy, aka the useful idiot. This particular useful idiot is named Jay. Jay is sent on missions without even realizing he's on a mission, until he picks up the wrong phone with the wrong secret intel, and now Russian hit squads and elite assassins are after him. But Jay believes he was a sleeper agent, and really is the Spy Superb. His complete obliviousness and lack of survival skills may be the only thing that saves him in this globe-trotting espionage tale, where nothing is what it seems, but also kind of actually is what it seems. Okay, so as you may have noticed, while reading this description, I smiled and kind of chuckled to myself. And that is exactly why this book is my just one book pick for this week. I was doing research for this video, I came across this book, I read the description, I had that exact reaction, and I was like, I really like fun in my entertainment. Not necessarily comedy, because even just really dark and twisted stuff can be fun in its own way. This seems like this is a little bit more in a truer comedy, humor kind of genre, but it's also kind of in an action, espionage, adventure genre. Because it sounds like so much fun, not only did it become a book that for me out of nowhere became a book I was going to buy this week, but it was also worthy enough of a description and a reaction that I had to it to become my just one book pick of the week. So since I love fun, and I think fun is fun, and this sounds like fun, I made it my pick. In addition, this book is written by a writer that I have read content from in the past. Writer is Matt Kindt. That name should be familiar to most of you who watch these videos. Matt Kindt, along with Keanu Reeves, is the author of Berserker, which I have been enjoying well beyond the Keanu Reeves of it. So I have to give some credit to Matt Kindt for that. I also read a book called Fear Case, if I remember the name correctly. I think it was earlier this year or last year. That was a 4-part series that I thought was really entertaining and really cool, also written by Matt Kindt. So I think Matt Kindt is a fantastic writer. He's entertained me before, so I have faith that he will entertain me again. Now, this listing from Previews World says that the art is also by Matt Kindt, which I didn't know he was an artist as well. It's very possible that he is also the artist, or it says on the cover that it's that this book is by Matt Kindt and Charlene Kindt. Now, is Charlene doing the art, or did she help Matt with the script and then he did the art, or, I don't know, quite sure what Charlene's involvement is, but Obviously, they have the same last name, and it's an unusual last name, so I assume that they're either married or related, and know each other really, really well, so I imagine they work together really, really well, and I hope that partnership manifests a quality product in Spy Superb. So because of the Matt Kindt of it all, and because the description made me smile, and I like to smile and I like to have fun, these are all the reasons why Spy Superb is my just one book pick for this week. All right, there it is. There's the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button. Likes are very much appreciated by me. And if you didn't like it and you feel the need to hit the dislike button, go ahead. All I would ask is that you put down in the comments why you hit the dislike button. I'd like the opportunity to learn how I might be able to improve. Also, finally, if you haven't already subscribed, I would invite you to go ahead and do that. All right. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.